Welcome, welcome back to this podcast. This is Unfiltered Forex Season 2 with me, Clement, and I will start by talking about the four laws of behavior change. It's how to break bad trading habits and build good ones. So, I'm sure you have ever heard of or read the book called Atomic Habits. So, that's the laws of behavior change in that book. That's what I will be expounding on and how you can apply them to day trading. So this episode will be about the episode 1 only. Okay, not the episode 1, the law 1 only. Yeah. So first we'll start by talking about the habit loop. What is the habit loop? By definition, just a general definition, the habit loop is a concept that describes how habits are formed and maintained. That's it, that's the habit loop. It's a concept that describes how habits are formed and maintained. And usually, everything you do is okay, your identity is determined by your habits. If you have a habit of smoking, you're a smoker. If you have a habit of drinking, you are an alcoholic. If you have a habit of trading, you are a trader. If you Yeah, these are just habits, things we do without thinking. So yeah, the habit loop. It has four main stages according to the book Atomic Habits, according to the guy James Clear, the author. So stage one is cue. A cue is a trigger that tells your brain to initiate a behavior. For example, the aroma of food, that's going to be a cue. When you see something, when you wake up and see the sunlight, that's usually a cue. When you wake up and see that it's bright, that's the cue that tells your subconscious it's time to wake up. It's morning, it's time to wake up. The second stage of the habit loop is called the craving. Craving is a feeling of wanting something. Now back to cue. Once you smell the aroma of food, or once you just see food, the craving follows. You might start to crave something once you see it. So yeah, the third stage is response. The response is now how you act on that craving. You wake up, you smell the aroma of food, that's the cue. You get a craving, you start salivating, that's the craving part. Then the response is you go to get the food, or you go buy the food. And then the final part of the habit loop, reward. The reward is the feeling of satisfaction after you've engaged in the behavior, or after you've done the thing you were craving. So yeah, that's those four main stages are what can be identified as the habit loop. And usually this is a neurological feedback loop that helps us learn and automate behaviors. So the cue alone is usually enough to start the habit. Yeah, so this is a neurological feedback loop, and it's mostly in the subconscious. It's mostly happens in the subconscious because habits are not exactly things that we are thinking about in the present. Like you do these things as a by the way. We're so used to them, we do them without thinking. Yeah, that's where the subconscious mind comes into play. So the first law, if you want to start now we're talking about if you want to start a good habit, the first law is make it obvious. The cue, now in relation to the habit loop, the cue should be obvious. This makes it easy to start a habit and difficult to forget. For example, if you want to start eating more fruits, just have more fruits in the house and don't hide them, just have them out in the open where they are visible. For example, from where I am now, I can see an orange. Yeah, and I eat very many oranges because when I buy them, I just come and put them on top of the fridge and I can see them there. Whenever I am in the kitchen around the fridge, I find myself just picking up a fruit and eating it. So that's a habit I have, and I started it by following this first law. You make it obvious. Make the cue obvious. Yeah. The best way to start a new habit is to identify a current habit you already do and stack the new habit on top. So back to my example, I am seeing an orange and it's on top of my fridge. That's both literal and figuratively. That I stacked the new habit I wanted to start on top of one I was already doing, because yeah, it's normal when you're hungry, when you want a snack, you will just go and check the fridge. So yeah, I decided to put the oranges on top of the fridge. It's because it's something I already do. Instead of opening the fridge and searching for something to eat and then choosing, I just decided to have the oranges on top because they are a much better decision. Yeah, something simple. Now in trading, if you want to start a good habit like journaling, you have to make the cue obvious. The cue being obvious is, in this case, personally, I journal every day, like every day, every trade, every day. Like when if I'm trading, I have to journal the trade. How? First, I decided to make the cue obvious. The cue in this case is my Discord app, but let me let me talk about when I was starting. My cue at that time was a notebook, because a notebook is something physical. It's something you can see without having to think about it, without having to remember. So you just keep your notebook very close to you, such that whenever you are trading, you have your notebook there, or whenever you want to start trading, your notebook is there. You see it, you open it, you start writing, start documenting your moves. So yeah, that's the best way to add like add the notebook on top of things you are already doing. Don't try to create something new entirely, because it's going to be hard for you. We're going to get that. But currently we're talking about the cue, making it obvious. Just have your journaling tools there and readily available now for whatever habit you want to start. So another good trading habit that can be introduced into your routine is physical exercise. Yeah, when you wake up every day, you have to exercise to get your mind awake. Also, not just your eyes, your mind also has to be awake for you to have a productive day. So when you wake up, immediately you must have a cue that tells you it's time for a workout. The cue in most cases is usually just a tool. You use a tool like a skipping rope. Yeah, you can just keep a skipping rope on the bedside, such that when you wake up, before you see your phone, you first see the skipping rope, then you decide to go and do get do the physical activity and be done with that. So yeah, the two most common cues are time and location. Time and location. Yeah, other than visible objects, the cue is also time and location. For example, you find let's talk about a habit like a common habit like drinking alcohol. No offense, it's just a common habit. People drink more at night than during the day. Why? Because people look people come from work, they see it evening, and that's the cue, and probably look across the street from the bus stop and see a bar. So that's another cue. Then they go and do the habits. So yeah, these cues, very common cues, are time and location. Because yeah, so if you want to start a new habit, set a time and a location for it. For example, the habit of journaling I just talked about, you are supposed to set a specific location and time for it, such that your subconscious knows immediately I sit on this chair, I know it's time for journaling. Immediately I get back from work at this time, I know it's time for journaling. Now that's usually a thing of the subconscious mind that makes the habit stick. Yeah. So the location and the environment and the time already in has to be already in your daily routine. Don't change your routine entirely. It's not going to work. It's going to be a lot of friction. So first, just make sure the cue and the location are included in things you already do. All right. Now let's talk about the inversion of the first law. How to break a bad habit. What we were talking about is the first law. Make it visible. How to start a new habit. So now we're talking about the inversion of the first law, how to break a bad habit. And it's simple. It's just the inversion of the first law, really. Make it invisible. Just eliminate the cue. For example, if you have what can I talk about here? Let's talk about something like junk food. If you have a habit of eating junk food, like you just find yourself buying junk when you go to the supermarket, or when you go to the shops, or just a simpler example, when you open the fridge, you find yourself more likely to eat junk food than healthy food. So if you want to break that bad habit, the first thing to do would be to eliminate the cue. For example, if you have a lot of juice or soda on your fridge, because soda is more junk food, like if you have a lot of soda in your fridge, to eliminate the cue is to make sure you cannot easily see it when you open the fridge. So you might want to put it behind other food stuff. It might seem like a very simple trick, but it works because at that time it's usually your subconscious mind that is functioning. When you do not see the soda, you will not even think about it, so you will just pick the first thing you are seeing. So eliminate the cue if you want to break a bad habit. In trading, one bad habit that you can solve this way is emotional trading. Very many traders and also especially new traders, they have this problem of falling victim to emotional trading, especially during times of high market volatility. There's that adrenaline rush that usually comes when you see big price fluctuations. So yeah, if you don't want to be a victim of that, eliminate the cue. Just like we said, time and location. Eliminate the cue by first determining times when you are more likely to step out of line. Like, when are these times that you emotionally trade and just lose everything? If you find out it's a specific session, like the New York session, because it's the one very notorious for that. If you find the New York session is where you lose money more to emotional trading, just get out. Stay out of the market during that time. Eliminate the cue, because being in the market is what's going to push you to emotional trading. So just be out of the market at that time, and you'll be good. Another one, if it is necessary for you to watch the market, watch it without making new trades. Means you shouldn't monitor the market from your trading app. You can use a news website with live charts instead, because some of these news events are very important, and it's very important to monitor market volatility. But if you want to monitor the volatility without trading, the thing you're supposed to do is to use a news website, or just a view only chart. Because you can only view, you can't trade. That's an efficient way of attempting to break the bad habit. So that's it. We're done with this episode. We're talking about the first law of make it obvious, and that was it. The second law we'll talk about is make it attractive, and that'll be in the next episode. Till then, listen and re-listen, take notes if you find it necessary, and most importantly, practice what you have learned. It's going to help you. It's really very easy things to do, and it's going to help you a lot. Have a good time.